Browns back at it. It is Dolphins week 2, 1-5 teams facing off at Huntington Bank Field on Sunday. And today being Wednesday, it meant we heard from Dillon Gabriel and Mary Kay. For Dillon, coming out of that Steelers game, he was sacked 6 times. He was hit 16 times. There were some drops that didn't help him. He had some misses of his own. Now he gets to make his first home start. Dillon Gabriel, the focus this week is really kind of getting some momentum on offense and getting this passing game fixed.
That's right. And I also think that if they can do that, then Quinshon Judkins will be able to run the ball a lot more, which is really going to help Dillon and everybody else. It will help that defense. It will help time of possession and everything. So they need to find a way, I think, to get the ball more into the hands of their tight ends, both of them. Harold Fannin, he's done a nice job. I would try to get the ball more to David Njoku if he's going to play. But they need to get the ball into the hands of their playmakers on some shorter routes and see if they can't get them getting some yak. That's what they really, really need to do to get this passing game going. And then you can take that occasional long shot down the field. But somehow, some way, they've got to get the passing game rolling along.
Yeah, Ashley, I mean, the thing is when you talk about that yak, you talk about some of those quicker throws. That it's kind of what you think about when you think of Dillon Gabriel is that accuracy, that timing, all of that stuff. And we just haven't seen that with any sort of consistency in these 2 games that he's started.
No, we really haven't. And I mean, I think that as Mary Kay points out with the run game, it's a big part of why this offense feels very stunted or unimaginative, whatever negative adjective you want to attach to it right now. But there's just not a lot of variety happening, and you're making it easier, I think, on these opposing defenses, especially last week against the Steelers, a team and obviously a coach in Mike Tomlin that knows you so well. It didn't really help matters.
Now, Mary Kay, you mentioned David Njoku. He's dealing with a knee injury. He did not practice today. Sunday, of course, was he left the game a couple of times, eventually went into the locker room and didn't return. Harold Fannin actually ended up out snapping him in that game. But David Njoku, no matter what the statistics say, all of that, we know how important he is to this football team, both as a pass catching threat, but also as a blocker with the protection issues they've had. So this is an important injury that we're monitoring this week.
That's right. I mean, he's their best guy when it comes to chipping and helping out in that blocking game, picking up blitzes and all those kinds of things. He's huge in that role. And they also do need him in the passing game. So it's really difficult if they don't have him out there. They're already kind of behind the 8 ball with their pass catching core right now. That's not someone you want to be without. But I'll tell you, after listening to a couple guys talk today, it almost sounded to me like they're not planning to be with David Njoku this weekend.
Yeah, Kevin Stefanski called him truly day-to-day at this point. A couple guys that we heard talk today, the indication seemed maybe next week. I guess we'll see how that plays out over these few days, Ashley.
Yeah, but I mean, too, with David, like we talk about the blocking, right? I mean, I think that's especially a huge loss now when you consider all the offensive line issues the Browns have. Now, Cam Robinson was back out there today. Jack Conklin's still in the concussion protocol, obviously, and tackle has just been a bit of a carousel for them this year. 6 games, 6 different starting combinations that hasn't helped the protection, and David does so much there to help. If he isn't able to go, that's kind of a big loss in that regard, too.
Now, a guy that we haven't talked about in a little while, Mike Hall. Kevin Stefanski was asked about him today. We're all still sort of playing that waiting game with Mike, trying to come back from. We actually don't know what the injury was. He was just carted off the field in week 18. We know it was a knee injury of some kind, but we don't know the specifics of it. He has not been able to return yet. But Mary Kay, Kevin seemed, I guess by his standards, the most optimistic that he's seemed, that he's sounded since we've kind of started asking him about Mike Hall.
Yeah, he's been getting closer and closer, but it almost sounded like Kevin was ready to put him out on the field this weekend, perhaps. So we'll see how that goes. That would be good for them because they've been waiting to see that combination of Mason Graham and Mike Hall in there together. Of course, Malik Collins has been playing really, really, really well. So that'll give them a really nice rotation there of interior guys, and that always helps when you can get that pressure up the middle, and they've been waiting for Mike for a long time, so that would be good news for them.
Well, and the Malik Collins thing is interesting. I mean, I think he's probably been their best defensive tackle so far. So if you add Mike Hall to that, it takes a little bit of the pressure off of maybe throwing him out there to play a bunch of snaps early. You can kind of ease him in. Maybe starts as your third defensive tackle. I mean, there's a lot of different things that you can do with him, Ashley, because Mason Graham has been good. Malik Collins has been really good. So Mike Hall would just sort of add to that stable right now.
Yeah, that's exactly how I've been looking at it these last few weeks. Malik Collins has, obviously they're not going to rush my call out there before he's ready anyway, but I feel like he's helped lengthen that runway. They really don't have to force my call to play a ton of snaps or play him too soon. And obviously, Jim Schwartz rotates about 9 guys on that D line anyway. So great to get another guy out there in the stable for him, but I don't think you're going to have to overly rely on him as soon as he comes back.
And they were even kicking around the idea last year before he suffered a knee injury, not the one that knocked him out, but the one that kept him out for about 4 games, of maybe moving him outside a little. So he just gives you more options on that defensive line. All right, we'll cover everything leading up to this Dolphins game, all at cleveland.com/Browns.